Hello and welcome. You've tuned into Business Lunch. I'm Nisha Podar, and with me as always is Pavitra Parekh. So hi Pavitra, let's take a look at the market first. And yes, it has been a softish opening for our markets and it continues like that. However, in the middle of the trading session, Nifty did drop to the low point of the trading session and then has recovered. So to take a look at its trajectory, the high point was 21,780 levels, while the low was 21,629. So not too far away from the high point of the trading session at the moment on Nifty 50. All right, that's about the market. But remember, an important development. LIC has reported a strong set of Q4 earnings with their value of new business up 46% and the total APE also reporting a positive growth. Now, my colleague Yash Jain caught up with Siddharth Mohanty, who's the chairperson of LIC, to discuss about their Q3 earnings and also the performance, and began by asking about how FY25 will look like for the company after a strong performance in FY24. Listen in to this conversation.
If you see, enter FY24, Q1 and Q2 was not that good for LIC. And we have now in Q3, we have started moving and we have shown good result, particularly in margin and VNB growth, all these things. Q3, some improvement is there, and that's why I told it is just beginning. And this Q3 will not continue to Q4. Q3 will continue further. So FY25 will be still better than FY24.
FY24.
So that was my intention.
FY25 will be better than FY24. If I could come back to the quarter, as far as your annualized premium equivalent or APE is concerned, that grew by about 7%. I want to understand about Q4. Q4, of course, we know last year there was a rush to buy savings policies. It's a higher base. Do you think you can still do positive APE over that strong base in Q4?
Yeah, absolutely. Because AP has shown some positive growth and it will further improve. Looking to our product line and all other things, AP positive growth will be there in Q4.
Okay. January has been strong. We saw the numbers day before. How does February look? How does March look? And then if you could help us with some number in terms of Q4 year on year, what kind of AP growth, what range of AP growth do you expect?
The AP growth, I cannot give specific number, but there will be growth. My sense will be close to double digit growth will be there.
The next thing that I want to understand from you is the non-par business. You had a target of 10% taking the non-par business out of the total APE. You've gone to 14% from just about 9.5%. The street was closely looking at this number. Now that you've reached 14%, do you think you'll only build more on this 14%? And if yes, what is the next target that you're looking at as far as the non-par book is concerned? Not 1 or 2 quarters later, but by the end of FY25.
If you see our commitment during listing, we gave non-par share, our objective is to take it to at least 15%. We are almost there already. And that I told you, it may take 2 to 3 years time to reach that. But thankfully we have achieved that. And Q4, it will be much more than 15%. Non-par share to AP will be much more than 15%. Exact number I should not say, but already we are experiencing in current month and January also. So there will be good growth in a non-par AP. And if you see total growth in a non-par premium, volume, volume wise if you see, not AP, volume wise non-par premium, last year 9 months and this year, more than 80% growth is there. As against 3,022 crore, we have done 5,400 something.
Correct.
So more than 80% growth in non-par year on year.
It's a very strong growth, and that leads me to my next question, which is directly related to non-par book, and that is your VNB margin. Another commitment target that you had set for yourself of about 20% VNB margin, faster than private players after listing. You've achieved that much faster than them. Now 20%, I want to understand 2 things from you. Does it sort of become a base that we have to grow 20 and now the struggle is going to be to build on that 20? Does that become the understanding? And if build on that 20, if the non-par book you're saying goes more than 15%, then by FY25, what is the margin range that we could see you, having?
No, already you see we have experienced in last quarter 20%, but overall for period 16.6%, which is more than 200 basis points.
Correct.
14.6 now 16. And my sense is it will further stabilize, because looking to the product mix which we are now offering in the market, and those products are giving margin, this will be sustainable, this will be maintained, and some improvement will also I am expecting on this.
What
margin.
is some improvements?
That exact figures should not say, but whatever already we have achieved, we will improve upon that.
Another thing that I want to understand, and this is on the matter of one company, ITC. You've had a significant holding, you paid down some holding, you still have about 15% stake in that company. Now, for the longest time, I've had conversations with various people, and LIC has been wanting or is desirous of unlocking some value out of ITC for itself. The reason why it couldn't do that, because of the fear that the ownership would change to BAT, the British American Tobacco. That fear seems to be fading, because BAT recently said yesterday that they are themselves looking to pay down stake in ITC. Does that sort of give you that liberty that now if BAT is also selling, LIC can look at unlocking some value for itself, because that fear is out of the window? Do you think so?
In ITC, you see, we are long-term investor. And from ITC we have got good value, high value. So we are now continuing with that.
Okay.
We have not taken any call whether to further divest or all those things.
Doesn't make sense for you right now.
And as things move, we will take advantage in the best interest of LIC.
Z Entertainment. The no identifiable promoter as far as the company is concerned. The person who's taking the call has lesser stake than you also. You have about 5% stake, he has about 3.5% stake. Still taking the call. The deal did not go through because of certain calls taken by this individual. Was negative for LIC as well as retail shareholders because of value destruction. It could have been a big positive if that deal would have gone through. Do you think what happened was wrong? And B, do you think in such situations, institutional investors, not just you, others also should come and sit together and understand the matter, take interest in the matter, and then take the final call? Because you are a big shareholder.
No, we are shareholder, we are actually closely watching what is the development, and we will take a call at appropriate time.
So Z matter is still under consideration for you, you are closely watching.
We have 5% stake, but nothing of that sort we have taken any decision, but we are just...
But you are monitoring, you have not let it go.
We are observing what is happening and how.
Okay. Now I want to talk to you about HDFC Bank. You recently got an approval to raise your stake, enabling approval to raise your stake till 9.99%. I want to understand from you, when did you apply for this particular approval? Since then, has your thinking changed? Back then, was it to raise it? Now it's not. Has that thinking changed? Or are you still interested whenever you get the opportunity in terms of price, value to raise your stake?
And it is not question of only one bank. We approached RBI for, I think,
ICICI Bank?
3 banks, and we got approval at a different point of time.
Correct.
And these approvals are enabling provision.
True.
So that depending upon market situation, we should be able to raise our stake, which was not there earlier.
Correct.
So that we have taken and we will utilize at appropriate time.
So you've taken approval for 3 banks, which at least means that you're interested in these 3 banks. You see value.
Depending upon, yes, market situation.
Okay. So maybe if you have 1 year's time to raise that stake, if you get right price, if you get right value,
depends.
you
time will tell at this point.
But the intention is alive.
We have taken permission, that itself indicates.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Hey guys, welcome back. You're still tuned into Business Lunch. For the market, we're currently at 21,740. So there's been quite a recovery from the lows over 100 points, 110 points from the lows of the day on the Nifty. The mid-cap index and the small-cap index, like you can see, still under severe pressure. But I will add that, even over there, we are well off the day's low. So 500 points off the lows on the mid-cap index. What's doing quite well today is the banks. That's where a lot of the force is coming in. So 390 points higher on the Nifty bank right now. And just take a look at some of the larger weights. A name like SBI continues to gain. It's up over 10% for this week. When's the last time you saw that kind of move, right, on SBI? So this has been one very solid contributor. You have ICICI Bank, which is doing well as well. But HDFC once again has slipped in trade. It was briefly in the green, but it's seeing quite a cut right now. What's also not doing well today is the entire PSU pack, of course, after a very, very solid run. But today you're seeing all of the PSUs, oil marketing companies, where, a lot of money had moved in the past couple of weeks just on account of that momentum seen over there. A little bit of that being taken off the table. You also have names like RVNL, Hoodco, IREDA, all seeing pretty significant cuts. So that is what's really going on with the market. We'll talk more about this. Remains extremely hot. But for now, I want to bring you some big tech-related news. Google has announced a rebranding for its AI language model Bard. The AI software has now been renamed Gemini, and the tech giant has also announced the launch of Gemini Advanced. This is a paid version of the AI model that will compete with ChatGPT. We had CNBC's Andrew Sorkin, who caught up with Sundar Pichai, Alphabet and Google CEO, and asked him why they decided to change the name. Listen in.
For us, Gemini is our approach overall in terms of how we are building our most capable and safe and responsible AI models. So it's the frontier of the technology we are pushing along. And Bard was the most direct way people could interact with our models, right? And so it made sense to just evolve it to be Gemini, because you're actually talking directly to the underlying Gemini model when you use it. And I think it'll also be the way by which we will keep advancing our models and users can experience it directly. And so we thought the name change made sense. Well, Gemini Advanced has access to Ultra 1.0, which is our most capable model till date. To me, look, I think it's exciting because for people who really are using these products as a power user, a real collaborative partner, maybe in a professional context, maybe you're using it for coding, it just gives you more capabilities. It's particularly good at complex queries, multi-turn queries. It has very good workspace integration. It is built from the ground up to be natively multimodal. So when you attach images and query, it really shines. You can use the Gemini app on your phone and say, tell me more about what I'm seeing on my screen. So it's really capable along those dimensions.
All right, on that note, we'll slip into a short breather on Business Lunch, but we are excited to announce that CNBC TV18 is back with the second season of India's largest campaign on gender parity. Join us for the mega launch event at HSBC, and HSBC presents CNBC TV18's Future Female Forward and the Women's Collective, with top leaders, influencers, policymakers, and trailblazers all under one roof to chart a path towards bridging the gender gap. Live from Delhi on Saturday, 10th of February, 5 p.m. onwards, only on CNBC TV18. Don't miss it. Welcome back. You're watching Business Lunch. A quick look at the market at this point and take a look at two of the healthcare companies which have posted results in last 5 minutes or so. Alkem Labs is one of them, and also Zydus Life Sciences. Both these counters have lost ground after the results. So take a look at those counters at the moment. And Alkem Labs is now gaining back again. So digesting those numbers, of course, the profitability for the company is better than what the polls really suggested. So that's really showing up. But of course, it saw a knee jerk at the beginning when the numbers were flashed. When we talk about Zydus Life Sciences, that has also seen a drop in trade after the results came in. But if you look at overall market, Nifty 50 is absolutely flat at this point, 21,733 level. Sensex 2 is absolutely flat. Bank Nifty is the one which is showing huge amount of outperformance. And remember, the key contributors today have been SBI as well as ICICI Bank. And on the other hand, mid-cap universe, that is going down further, over 1.5% down in trade. So that needs to be watched out for. And the big theme in the market that is really playing out is the PSUs also seeing a lot of profit booking. So keep an eye out on that. And Infosys is one of the big drags in the market along with Mahindra and Mahindra. All right, then to some important national news for now. And former Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao as well as Chaudhry Charan Singh, along with the renowned agri-scientist M.S. Swaminathan, will be conferred the Bharat Ratna, the prestigious award. Now, this comes after the veteran politician L.K. Advani and former Bihar Chief Minister Karpuri Thakur were conferred with India's highest civilian awards. So this is a big national development for the day.
All right, that's an important update, but let me also bring you the latest now from West Asia, where tensions continue to escalate. Israeli forces have bombarded the southern city of Gaza, of Rafah, where more than half of the population is now sheltered. This has also raised further alarms about the humanitarian disaster in the enclave, and this follows a US drone strike in Baghdad last night, which killed a leader of the Iranian-backed militia. This is also after the US Secretary of State Anthony Blinken left West Asia without any ceasefire deal in place. We have NBC's Kea Simmons who reports.
Multiple challenges for the Biden administration in this region. That drone strike, that strike overnight in Baghdad that killed a member of a group, according to US officials, that is accused of attacking and killing on a US base in Jordan 3 US service members. But all the same, there are those here questioning whether the Biden administration is doing enough to push back on Iran or on those Iranian militia, because today those militia again vowing to carry out more attacks. Then over in Israel and Gaza, Secretary Blinken leaving the region without that much progress, honestly, on the peace deal that he had been pushing forward, with a delegation from Hamas heading to Cairo, but their counter proposal in those talks asking for large numbers of Palestinian prisoners to be released being dismissed by the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. So once again, for people in Gaza going through that humanitarian crisis, the number dead there now approaching 28,000, with of course more than 1,200 dead in Israel, and still 136 hostages, including 6 US citizens not released. That humanitarian crisis in Gaza continues while the diplomacy seems to falter again.
Now getting you some more global updates coming in from Ukraine, that has been in war with Russia for nearly now 2 years. And the president of Ukraine, Zelensky, has announced a rejig in the country's military leadership roles. The army chief general, who was in charge of overseeing this war effort since February 2022, has been replaced. And the army general, in a statement, said that he had talks with the president and explained that the decision had been taken to change battlefield tactics and also strategies. Now, Colonel General Alexander Syrsky has been promoted to commander of the armed forces. So lots going on in the Ukraine-Russia war as well.
All right, and these are all developing stories. We'll keep bringing you updates on this. But for now, we have to take your leave on this edition of Business Lunch. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We have Mid Cap Radar on the other side.